So, following the British sort of takeover of the island, there were three attempts by the early Zionists between pretty much the 1890s to 19 pretty much 30s to take over Cyprus. They were concerned that even the area of Palestine on its own would not be sufficient in size for the Zionist colonial state. They wanted a far larger territory. And initially, they had something what was called the Greater Palestine idea. And what that was meant to include was the area of, course, Palestine, but also Lebanon, Jordan, parts of Syria, Egypt, but also Rhodes Island in Greece, and then Cyprus. This was pretty much the idea of the Greater Palestine that they called at the time that they wanted in order to secure this territory, because it was fundamental for them to have access to different water supplies, water ports, but also mountainous areas for surveillance. It's part and parcel of the Zionist agenda for control. And we're also seeing that in the way now that they're occupying different territories in Syria, which are crucial. You know, they're now currently occupying 40% of Syria's water reserves. They're also occupying Mount Hermon, which is significant in terms of surveillance in the area and therefore keeping control over their colonial entity and all the surrounding territories. We're seeing the same thing in even in Lebanon, and I think it was Ben Gurion that had even said that the occupation of the Litani River was an absolute must for the Zionist entity, because again, it has to do with the control of water resources in order to be able to control territory, to suppress and exploit their neighbors, and then obviously be able to assert themselves as a colonialist entity. So Cyprus fell within that scope of requiring the island very much for its location, its positioning, which historically has always been one of the main sort of attractions for multiple different colonial empires.